Spain's economic status. Is Spain the next Greece? Terms that you should probably know. The World Trade Organization, or the WTO, is an international body founded in 1995 to promote international trade and economic development by reducing tariffs and other restrictions. A tariff is a tax or duty to be paid on a particular class of imports or exports. A mixed economy is an economic system combining private and public enterprise. An example of a mixed economy is the United States of America. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, is an international financial institution organized in 1945 to promote international trade by increasing the exchange stability of major currencies. Gross domestic product, or GDP, is the total value of goods produced and services provided in a country during 1 year. The European Union, or the EU, is a group of European countries that participates in the world economy as one economic unit and operates under one official currency, which is the euro. Countries that are in the European Union are Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom. Purchasing power parity, or the PPP, is a theory of long-term equilibrium exchange rates based on relative price levels of two countries. Specialization is a method of production where a business or area focuses on the production of a limited scope of products or services in order to gain greater degrees of productive efficiency within the entire system of businesses or areas. Current economic status. Spain's current economy is in a state of crisis, with record unemployment rates and more people leaving the country than entering the country. Spain's economy is not doing so well. Economic forecast. Spain's economic forecast is not that great. Looking at cutting spending by record amounts and continuing to get help from other surrounding countries, they're following in the footsteps of Greece. Implications. Basically, what all of this stuff implies is that Spain isn't doing so great. They're falling behind immensely on everything economic, and unfortunately, they're setting themselves up to be the next Greece. Madrid, which is the capital of Spain, was the hardest hit but is recovering. With 26% unemployment rate and an output decrease of 0.8%, Madrid was by far the worst off. With an expected 0.5 or 0.6% decline in the first quarter of 2012, the government thought that there was not much hope for Madrid or Spain as a whole. In the second quarter, there was a slight improvement and nearly zero growth in the third quarter, which showed a lot of improvement for Spain's economic state. In the last 3 months of 2012, the government believed that there was an absolute possibility that there could be positive economic growth for Spain on that fourth quarter. Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy's government is predicting a return of economic growth if and only if Spain sticks to cutting costs and tries to reform their economy efficiently. Though there were many causes to Spain's economic downfall, the main ones that we're going to focus on are the hurting regional governments, weak growth prospects, bank bailout worries, growing public anger, and debt dependency. We'll start by talking about the hurting regional governments. During the property boom, 17 of the partially self-governing regions brought in ridiculous amounts of money from building permits and fees. Since then, the property boom turned into a property crash and the regions can't pay any of their fees. Fears soar sky high when Valencia announces that they're tapping into the federal fund that is made to help bail out the hurting regions. Murcia has also announced that they will be tapping into the federal fund as well. Next, we'll talk about the weak growth prospects. 1 in every 4 Spaniard is unemployed, while job seekers under the age of 25 are at 52%. Young immigration, which means that people are leaving the country, is on the rise since new labor reforms put in place by Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy make it cheaper to fire people. Now we'll talk about the bank bailout worries. In May of 2012, Bankia, which is the 5th largest leader in Spain, announces that 19 billion euros will be needed for covering loans and assets. 1 month later, the European Union creates a 100 billion euro care package for Spain. Bailout concerns that the Eurozone will be paid back first, so private investors will spend more time waiting on their money. Next up on our list of causes is debt dependency. 2/3 of government bonds are held in Spain's banks. Spain is being called too dependent on its failing banks, and in July of 2012, they had already issued 59 billion euros of bonds out of the 86 billion they have to spend. Finally, we'll talk about growing public anger. Since Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy had taken office, he has introduced loads of austerity measures trying to prevent a public finance bailout. One of his most controversial austerity measures being a steep hike in sales tax and eliminating 1 of 14 yearly paychecks that the public servants receive. Last but not least, we'll talk about my personal interpretation and prediction for Spain's economy. With all of the information I've gathered through all of my research, I personally have taken this to mean that there may be a possibility that Spain could make it through the crisis being not entirely destroyed, but they're most likely following in the footsteps of Greece. My prediction for Spain's economy is that Spain is going to end up just as Greece was, having next to no hope for redeeming themselves and helping bring down the entire European Union. Thanks for watching!